Want to know the fastest way to become the most trusted dentist in your city? This video is about the single move that instantly positions you as the expert without needing to outspend your competitors. And if you want to shortcut your path to local authority, book a call and we'll check to see if your area is still available. My name is Rochelle Shaw, and my agency has written over 250 client acquiring dental industry building books for dentists and doctors just like you to use in your own marketing and advertising. My agency has written over 250 client acquiring, say, patient. Want to know the fastest way to become the most trusted dentist in your city? This video is about the single move that instantly positions you as the expert without needing to outspend your competitors. And if you want to shortcut your path to local authority, book a call and we'll check to see if your area is still available. My name is Rochelle Shaw, and my agency has written over 250 patient acquiring dental practice building books for dentists and doctors just like you to use in their own marketing and advertising. We wrote ones like this, and like this, and like this. And after 17 years and 250 plus books written for doctors and dentists, look, I've seen a pattern, right? And the ones that stand out and aren't spending more on ads, they're really positioning themselves differently. Here's why becoming the author behind a specialized dental implant book works like magic. Most people believe that the person who wrote the book, drum roll please, is the expert, right? It's automatic credibility. And when that book is about something high stakes like dental implants, it's even more powerful. Suddenly, your book becomes the foundation for all of your marketing, for your social media, for your patient emails, and even your local PR. We've had clients get booked on TV, land speaking gigs, and become go to sources for local media, all because they were the dentist who wrote the book on dental implants. And now they're the go to dentist for dental implants. Not only, right, are they eliminating competition, but they're definitely standing out. If you want to license our proven dental implant book and start leading your market with authority, the first step is to book a short call with me to reserve your area and explain how the process works. Only one dentist in each area can have a book. And if you want to be the dentist of choice, then click the link below and book a time on our calendar. Power offer number 2. Let me ask you something. Why are the most skilled dentists often the least visible? In this video, I'll show you why great dentistry just isn't enough anymore and what you need to do to take control before the market swallows you up. And if you're ready to become the authority in your city, book a call and check and see if your area is still open to license our dental implant book. I'm Rochelle Shaw, and my agency has written over 250 patient acquiring practice building books for dentists and doctors like you to use in your own marketing advertising. Kind of like this one or this one or this one. Oops, upside down. And the one thing I see way too often is that the dentist with the most skill is quietly growing while the other ones with flashy ads and less training are dominating the market. You didn't get into dentistry to become a marketer. But let's be honest, if you don't take control of your positioning now, corporate chains and marketing geniuses will continue to steal the spotlight. And if that happens, you'll keep getting patients who ask about price first. You'll keep being treated like just another option, like y'all are equal, but there's a better way. And it's not about louder ads, it's about becoming an author. Have you ever considered who you look up to as the trusted authority? Your mentors wrote the book on your favorite procedure or technique. Think about it. What if you were the dentist who literally wrote the book on dental implants for your local community? How would the patients see you now? The patients then see you as the expert before they ever walk into the door. But even more powerful, that book becomes a referral machine for you. Patients don't know how to explain implants or the decision that they made was the best, but they can hand off your book and say, hey, this is my dentist. He wrote the book on it. Now they're not just referring you, they're bragging about you. Ah, if you're done blending in and ready to be the obvious trusted choice in your city, the first step is to book a short call with me to reserve your area and explain how this process works. Only one dentist in each area can license their book. And if you want to be that dentist, click the link below and go to our calendar page and book and find a time that works for you. I'll see you on the call. Dentist, thinking about writing a book? Watch this before you do. If you're a dentist who's been thinking, I should really write a book to grow my practice, hold that thought for just a few minutes because there's one very common mistake that could turn your book into a nice looking paperweight instead of the patient attracting asset you want it to be. Hey there, I'm Rochelle, and my agency has helped over 250 dentists and doctors establish local authority and attract more high value procedures. Not with ads, not with gimmicks, but by using a custom written book that actually works. Not just any book, but the right kind of book. Let me show you the biggest problems most dentists don't see coming. They write a book the way they were taught to write in dental school. Or worse, they let AI spit one out of them in an afternoon. Either way, they end up writing it for their peers, for their mentors, shh, or for their ego. The result, a book that sounds smart but doesn't work at all. You've probably seen it. Pages and pages of technical language, long explanations of procedures, and a tone that's more suited to a dental journal than a nervous patient wondering if they'll ever feel confident smiling again. And here's what happens next: the patient opens the book, skims the first page, and shuts it. They feel confused, overwhelmed, or worse, nothing at all. And when people don't understand something, they go back to the one thing that they know how to compare. And that is the dreaded P word, right? Price, the one that you hate the most. The book, the one that you work so hard on, just hand over them and you just gave them to your cheapest competitor. Now, what are most dentists doing instead? They're checking the box. They're saying, I need to build authority. So I'll just write a book. They'll finish it, get a few printed, toss one in the waiting room, maybe mention it on their website and call it a day. But what they don't realize is this: books by themselves don't build authority. Right? The right book builds authority. The correct book educates, pre-sells, and positions you as the only reasonable choice for a high trust procedure like implants. Like, really? We're going to take out all your teeth, or even the ones where we're only taking out it's still, I need to trust you before we let you do it. So here's how we do it with our clients, right? Step one, you need to get clear on who the book is actually for. Before a word is written, we help dentists identify their ideal patient, not their ideal peer. Are you trying to attract a retired woman who's ready to invest in her smile? A middle-aged man who's recently divorced? Someone who's been struggling with dentures? This clarity changes everything, right? And then step two is you want to speak to one problem and one solution. The most successful books don't try to explain everything and every dental service over the sun. They focus on one life changing problem that you saw: missing teeth, and walk the reader through how implants can fix it, not in vague terms, in human language, from fear to hope to what the next step is, right? And then step three, right at a fifth grade level. Okay, so step one was get clear. Step two was speak to one problem, one solution. Step three is right at a fifth grade level. This is a non negotiable. The more advanced your training, the harder this gets. But the simpler your book sounds, the more powerful it becomes. A confused patient never buys, they never convert, they never say yes. A confident patient says yes all day and twice on Sunday. Your book should feel like a conversation, not a lecture. Now, here's why this works, right? Because the person reading it isn't looking for a lecture. They're looking for someone they can trust to solve a deeply personal, highly emotional, and financially significant problem. And when they read a book that was clearly written for them, that builds trust and it starts to build it and compound. That's when the book becomes more than a branding piece. It becomes your quiet, confident closer. So if you're thinking of writing a book to help grow your practice, start by asking, who are you writing it for? And what exactly do they need to believe in order to say yes? Because done right, your book won't just sit on a shelf. It will sit in the hands of your future implant patients, preparing them to walk into your office and say, you're the one that I want, right? Okay, no grease, but you are the one that I want to do my implants. The one detail dentists overlook that can tank their book's success. Okay? If you're planning to use a book to build authority in your practice, like the ones that we've written, or you've already written one, there's one small detail that most dentists completely overlook. And unfortunately, it's the same detail that often makes the difference between a book that builds trust and a book that gets ignored. Hey, I'm Rochelle, and over the last 17 years, my agency has helped over 250 dentists and doctors grow their practices. Not by teaching them to chase trends or funnel hacking, but by positioning them as the trusted authority in their market using a single powerful tool, and that's their book. And while most dentists obsess over what goes in the book, I want to talk to you today about the outside because your cover is not just packaging, it's positioning. Let me explain to you the problem. Most dentists pick a generic stock photo, slap on their name and title, and call it a day. Even some try to make it look professional by keeping it minimalist or worse, academic. It should not look like a textbook, right? The result is their book blends into every other dental piece, marketing piece, professional marketing piece that's out there, or worse, it looks boring. Okay? And here's the one thing patients do judge books by their cover. In fact, your book cover is often the first visual cue a potential patient sees on the front desk or on social media, in your direct mail piece, handed to them in person, on your website, and whether they pick it up, open it, or even feel like they can trust it, it starts right with the cover. What do most dentists do instead? They treat the cover as an afterthought. They delegate it to, one of those $5 graphic designers who's never worked with dental patients before, or they skip testing like the font size, the color, psychology, or even the book dimensions. Like how big does it need to be? Things that absolutely influence whether or not a potential implant patient sees your book as something worth opening or something worth tossing aside. Here's why that doesn't work. Okay? The person you're trying to reach isn't casually browsing. They're in pain, physically, emotionally, socially. They want to feel hope. They want to feel seen. And whether they realize it or not, they're scanning for subtle signs about who you are, what kind of care that you offer, and whether you're worth trusting. So here's how we solve it for our clients, right? Step one is we choose a visual style that reflects trust and warmth. We never use cold clinical images or complex diagrams on the cover. Instead, we lead with more approachable colors, professional but human headshots, and a headline that speaks directly to the reader's emotional need, not the procedure. Step two, design for your target patient, not your peers. This is crucial. Your book isn't for other dentists. It's for the 48-year-old woman who's just gone through a divorce and wants to feel confident again. It's for the retired man who's tired of loose dentures. When he talks, people can tell every element of the cover, from font size to photo choice, should speak directly to them. And then step 3 is you need to test for practical use. Books are too large and they don't get carried around if they're too big, right? Covers that are too subtle don't get noticed. We've tested everything from the little tiny 4x3 up to an 8.5x11. We've targeted glossy versus matte. We know what patients pick up, what they keep, and what they share. Design without testing is just random guessing. And in a competitive market, guessing is expensive. Here's why this approach works, right? Because the cover is your book's first impression. And if the cover says, I'm generic, I'm just like everybody else, then the patient assumes you are just like everyone else. But if your cover says, this is for you, and the doctor gets it, you're halfway to winning the case before they even open page 1. So if you're thinking your book cover is just decoration, think again. Because in a world where trust is hard to earn and easy to lose, your cover might be doing more than just holding pages together. It might be holding your patients back. Dentist, do you want to cut no-shows for your dental implant services and speed up your consults? Have you ever been in one of those 2-hour consults that keeps going? They have question after question after question. If you're sending out a book to your implant patients or thinking about it, there's one overlooked detail that can completely change how prepared they are when they walk through that door. And it has nothing to do with the book itself, but everything to do with what goes in the envelope alongside it. Hey, my name is Rochelle, and I run an agency that's helped over 250 dentists and doctors grow their implant case volume by using their own book, not just as a piece of marketing, but as a complete positioning tool. We don't just help dentists write the book, we help them use it to build trust before the patient even steps into their practice. Now, here's a situation that most dentists face with every appointment booked for a dental implant, right? They send a confirmation email, maybe a text reminder, maybe a friendly call, and then the patient shows up late, flustered, or unprepared. They forgot the forms, they didn't fill them out online, or worse, they're handed a clipboard in the front desk with a stack of paperwork while they're already nervous about the procedure and really unsure and nervous about the price. Not the best way to start a high trust point, because we can agree this is a high trust point, right? Now, what the dentists are currently doing instead, they're relying on automated systems to email a link. They assume that their front desk staff can handle it when the patient arrives. But let's be honest, most people are just sitting at home printing off forms. And when they get to your office and feel like they're just another name in the system, it sets the wrong tone, right? Here's why that doesn't work. Because implant patients are not just booking a cleaning, they're about to make a $10,000 to $25,000 decision, and they're already nervous. If the process feels cold, rushed, or disorganized from the start, you've already lost credibility. And the longer it takes to get through paperwork, the less time you actually have for the consult. So here's how we solve this easily and effectively with our clients, right? So step 1 is we print and include all new patient forms in with the book mailed package, right? So included in it is the book, the forms. So now they have everything. So when someone books an appointment, we schedule it at least 3 to 5 days out so that there's time to send the book via priority mail. In that same package, we include the new patient intake forms, printed, stapled, and ready to fill out at your kitchen table. Right. And you might be thinking, oh, I've got to rush. I need to get them in right now. But guess if what happens if they go to see somebody else and your package arrives and be like, I need to go to the guy who wrote the book. Okay. Number two, use simple, friendly language in the cover letter. Alongside with the forms and the book, we include a short, warm letter. Looking forward to meeting you. Please take these few steps, these few minutes to complete these before you visit. It helps us focus more on you during your appointment. It's respectful, it's personal, and it sets a high touch tone. Right? What does that patient feel like? They feel like you really care about them. And then step three, empower the patient to arrive prepared. Now, instead of arriving unsure, stressed, or late, your patient shows up organized, confident, and ready to have a real conversation, not scrambling at the front desk to find their forms, to find their cards, to find their ID. No frustration, no wasted chair time. Why does this work so well? Because we're not just mailing a book, right? We're delivering an experience. From the moment they open that package, your patient is thinking, wow, they really got it together. And that small impression, it carries all the way into your treatment plan discussion. This isn't about making your admin's team job easier. In fact, to improve your chances of signing up more patients from your appointments, your next step will be creating a great experience when they walk in the door. But that is a topic for another video. This change is about showing your patients that they matter before they ever meet you face to face. Because the best way to close a high ticket case is to make the patient feel like they're already in the best right hand, right? What's in it for me? And that starts before they walk through the door. Dentist, how Dentist, here's how to turn your book into a referral machine without spending more on ads. If you've written a book or planning to write a book for your dental practice, I want to show you one way to use it that most dentists completely overlook. You already know your book builds trust with patients, right? But what if I told you you can plant your book like a seed to bring in new patients without you lifting a finger? Hey, I'm Rochelle. My agency has helped over 250 dentists and doctors grow their practices specifically by using a book written in their voice to position them as the leading authority on implants in your local market. But what we teach our clients isn't just how to write a book, it's how to use the book, right? And the one of the most powerful ways, it's turning that book into a new referral engine. Let's talk about the problem. Okay, most dentists are still relying on outdated referral habits, a handshake with another provider, a thank you card, maybe a box of cookies during the holidays, but none of those things make it easy for someone to refer you when the moment comes. And your patients, they're no better off. A patient has a great consult with you, but when their friend asks, who did you see? All they have is your name and maybe your business card if they can find it, if they, put it on your refrigerator, if they didn't toss it, right? Now, here's what most dentists are doing instead is they hope that the patient says something nice in passing, or they hope that their referral partners remember their name in a crowded local market. But as I always tell my clients, hope is not a strategy. And if you're relying just on your reviews, people have even gotten skeptical of them these days. Here's why that doesn't work, because people need something tangible to pass on, something they can hold hands off and say, this, this is who I saw. You should check them out. That's how real word of mouth momentum is built, through moments like that. Here's how we fix it with our clients, right? So, step one is we send the book to key referral sources. We identify your most trusted relationships, other specialists, club, community leader, even service professionals you trust, right? Your accountant, your lawyer. Those are people who you already trust and already trust you, but they may not know how to refer you clearly. Like they go, you should see him. He's a good guy. She's really wonderful. Well, how about we send them a personalized package with copies of your book and a short note explaining how they can pass it along to someone in need. Make it easy for them to look like the hero. Right? Here's step two. We give out more than one copy. So don't just send one book. Even when the patient comes in, we send 2 or 3, one to keep, one to give away, and one to have on hand just in case. When somebody in their network says, I've been thinking about dental implants, or wow, your teeth look amazing, they won't have to look you up. They won't have to Google you. They won't have to do anything. They will already have your book ready to hand over. That extra copy is what makes the referral happen now instead of sometimes later. And then step 3 is I want you to replace your business card with a book. Let's be honest, nobody keeps business cards anymore, right? But a book, people keep books. When's the last time you threw away a book? Tell me, right? You either sold them, right? After college, you sold textbooks, but you definitely don't throw them away. And even if you got them in your house, you're going to be like, oh, but this is a book. I'll donate it to the library, right? You don't throw them away. And they sit on your shelves, they sit on the counters, in glove compartments. A book sends a message. This doctor knows what they're doing. And when your book lands in the right hands, it does the work for you, right? So why does this strategy work, right? That's the common question I get. Rochelle, really a book? Why does it work? Because referrals happen when you make it easy for people to talk about you. If the only thing they can remember was, oh, she was so nice, well, so is their dentist that probably does implants too, right? But if it's easier to pass your name along, and as the one who wrote the book gives people a natural way to do both. You don't need to remind your network every month. You don't need to chase referrals. You just need to make sure the right people have the right tool in their hands. Right? So, if you've gone through the work of writing a great book, don't let it collect dust. Let it go. Let it go to work for you. One patient, one partner, one book at a time.